goals on the season in just his sophomore year with Limestone College. Chris Barrett comes out of the faceoff after that Worcester goal, and Limestone has a chance to tie it up again. Tied 3 times in this game. And LeMoyne's 2-goal lead sure didn't last long. Worcester, less than a minute after Spillett gets the goal to put LeMoyne up 2, comes back. And we're right where we started at the beginning of the half, in a 1-goal game. Corcoran picks up the loose ball for LeMoyne. Long outlet to the far side. Trowbridge up the sideline. Trowbridge puts the dodge on in midfield. Gets a nice round of applause from the Dolphin fans here in Baltimore. LeMoyne College 15-0 on the year. They've gotten to the ground balls. Limestone has at a 15-10 clip off the pipe.
It's going to be a push against Limestone. That ball, boom, off the post, and then he's pushed and thrown down. Dan Sheehan, LeMoyne, there's Reichel. East Syracuse Manoa talked about the Syracuse, the Central New York influence, the abundance of high school talent in the area. They are truly the only Division II school in the Central New York area. The fans up there can't get enough. He says that the Carrier Dome has been such an influence on that entire region. And it's carried over, as you said, Carter, to the LeMoyne program. It's a sense of pride in that area.
Sheehan says he basically just spends his time around Central New York. There is so much talent in that area. He is a West Genesee guy. That's the legendary program in the west side of Syracuse. Mike Massero and his program. Save inside Charlie Gray for Limestone.
Coming from a guy wearing an orange tie, it doesn't surprise me to see you sing the praises of that region. But how about Mike Massero? 600 wins last night. West Genesee, congratulations to Mike and that great program. Nice saves by Charlie Gray.
And 2 of his former players coaching here at the championship weekend in Baltimore. Dan Sheehan leading LeMoyne and John Desco.
You know, when it's all said and done, that's probably going to be his greatest legacy, is his ex-players are going to go on to be coaches. It's almost like Dan Gable at the University of Iowa Wrestling. He's produced over 50 coaches. When it's all said and done, Mike Massero, I could see the number being similar at the high school and college levels.
Desco, the head coach of Syracuse, will be playing in the championship game tomorrow against Navy. Bounce shot low. Gray covers it up.
Smothered. Not getting much of a hop off this sport grass surface. These players are better off shooting to the net directly. Don't bother with a bouncer.
Scrum for this ball here. I mean, that really looked like a rugby scrum. Limestone comes away with it, though. Jason Randolph. Whistle, though.
Gosh, his second warding off call.
On Travis Morgan.
Free hand. Got to watch the free hand. Oh, man. Tell you, from that wide angle, watch him. Oh, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. He put it out there to shield, basically to use his elbow and his arm as a shield. But the referee thought the intent was to push off or to hold.
You're getting back at those referees for calling you maniacal. Trowbridge trying to dodge in for LeMoyne. Slide comes over, so he gives it up. Spillett, feet in front for Holdridge. Goes wide, and Chris Moore is going to have to run it down for the Dolphins. Dan Sheehan, as we talked about, coming out of West Genesee, playing off the success of Syracuse University. He told us we were big Syracuse fans in the semis because if the Central New Yorkers stuck around to watch Syracuse in the championship game, maybe they would sneak over here on Sunday with that all-access pass for this NCAA weekend and root on the Dolphins. He said the one thing that I asked him to do was bring a green shirt with him. Not just orange this weekend, but support the Dolphins with your green, and pretty good contingent on hand from Syracuse.
Yeah, lucky for Dan, they're the second game because that 12 o'clock face-off time here in Baltimore comes early for some of those Orange fans.
Especially when they're celebrating a win over Johns Hopkins. one-goal game here in the D2 National Championship. 6 minutes into the second half.
Again, the tempo favoring LeMoyne here in the second half. We've seen no transition. The teams have traded goals. But a 6-on-6 game takes Limestone out of their bread and butter. This is a team that's put up incredible numbers this year.
Averaging nearly 20 goals per game. Averaging. But I don't think you can stress enough that being the only college lacrosse team in South Carolina, you're going to get games when and where you can get them. And playing in the Deep South Conference, not generally recognized as one of the power conferences of Division II. So the level of competition when you get into the NCAAs and here in the title game is a whole different story. And that's why you're seeing perhaps a one-goal game between Limestone and LeMoyne. Ground ball finally picked up by Brandon Spillett for LeMoyne. In transition, Corey Sullivan converts. Score the goal, and LeMoyne back up by 2.
Corey Sullivan from the stomping grounds, Lafayette High School. You talk about a school that's produced some absolute sharpshooters. Sullivan with a little fold-over shot. Deceptive motion right there. Finishes that. And if you're talking about a guy you want to finish on the tail end of a fast break, as far as the percentage, and that would be Corey Sullivan. That worked out great for LeMoyne, the way he was cherry-picking behind the play.
Spillett gets the assist on that goal. Now 3 points in the championship game for Brandon Spillett.
Basically our first transition goal of the entire game.
LeMoyne gets the face-off. Just the 4th face-off win today for the Dolphins. They don't keep it long, though. Barrett running it in for Limestone. Transition goal again. Jason Randolph. Limestone answers the transition score with one of its own. Back to a one-goal game at 6-5.
When you're running and gunning, it starts with ground ball play in the defensive zone. Limestone fortunate that ball kicked to them. Left-handed break. And the ball's not thrown to the point man. It's Jason Randolph. Celebration, emotion, championship weekend. Chance of a lifetime. Fulfillment of a dream for these players.
31 seconds between those 2 goals. Randolph scores his second for Limestone. Face-off win for Moore. Loose ball push. Goes against Chris Moore for LeMoyne. And that gives the ball to Limestone. Now they reverse it. This is the correct call. They will say the push was by Limestone, and it's LeMoyne ball.
These officials here today, I think there's about 24 officials who are called to Baltimore. They're the best of the best. They've been rated all season long from the different regions. They put them in a hotel downtown. They don't know which games they're going to work. That's Rich Tamburino. He's probably the best official in the state of Maryland working this Division II championship game. But it's quite an honor for them to work a championship game after a full season's work. So congratulations to all the officials who have worked this weekend. Continued success in the future. I tell you, there's a shortage of officials nationally, especially at the high school level, in places like Texas, Florida, California, Washington State, Arizona. The game's growing so fast at a participation level that the referees, U.S. Lacrosse, doing their best to train people to officiate games.
When the sport grows, it grows at all levels. Players, coaches, and as Quint said, officials. Tough battle for this ground ball, won by Limestone. Second straight opportunity in transition for Randolph, but he sees 3 white shirts for LeMoyne, so he pulls it back out. Good decision by the senior Randolph. He had 9 goals all year long, now 2 in the championship. Trying to set up Josh Waite. Misses that bounce shot. Limestone switches out the midfield lines in a one-goal game at 6-5, the Division II National Championship. If you're Limestone, and especially the seniors on this group, T.W. Johnson told us about this week, there's a sense of urgency. 5 straight appearances in the national title game. Twice they've won it. But you know at some point that run is going to end. And with a whole lot of freshmen coming up right now for Limestone this year and next year, I think Johnson has a sense that we better win while we have the chance.
7 seniors, 4 captains. You got 2 of them on defense. Nick DeLonga, the faceoff man. They all have big game experience.
And this is the tournament history. The last 4 years, all in the championship game. Titles in 2000 and 2002. And the 9-4 loss last year to New York Tech really stuck with Limestone. The way T.W. Johnson said it, we didn't play Limestone lacrosse. And maybe unlike some coaches who say the past is the past, Johnson from day one was using that as motivation with his Limestone team in 2004.
It's one thing not to win a game, but not to play hard, play well. It was just so uncharacteristic of them, and I think that was most frustrating. I think that's what they carried, the taste in their mouth. It was so disappointing.
Limestone has certainly played well all year long, 15-1. Again, the only loss is to North Carolina from Division I. Back to the championship game, and yet Limestone down a goal to upstart LeMoyne. Triple team on the ball. Still loose. Kobakov comes away with it. Defenseman from Tampa, Florida for Limestone. Offsides. Somebody's toes were on the line.
Quick reset here.
Limestone did not like that call. T.W. Johnson is all over the officials.
How did he get there? I guarantee that's what he's saying. How did he get there? Meaning, I believe he was pushed there.
Nearly even shots.
Quick redirection by Sullivan. Credit Gray. Okay, on those passes in front, the key for a goalie is to turn quicker than the ball. So if it is one touch back in your direction, you're ready when the player catches it. If you turn at the same speed of the ball, you can be caught off guard. The other thing as a goalie is make sure your stick is up in that box position when you turn. You don't want to drop your stick down to your hip because a lot of those redirection shots, like Sullivan's, are coming back high.
Jared Corcoran has been excellent in goal for LeMoyne. 10 saves. And yet he has not been tested that much here in the second half.
Limestone with only 3 shots this quarter. They missed the net quite a bit in the first half.
Chris Barrett trying to work in against Tar. Kick save there from Corcoran. Stuck the sweatpant leg out there and managed to knock it away. Save number 13 for Corcoran now. Excuse me, save number 11 for Jared Corcoran. LeMoyne by 2 goals twice in this game, and yet Limestone has answered back both times. That one rolls out. Give Corcoran another save.
Hey, Randolph, the senior from Broadneck High School, which is near Annapolis. It's on the way down to Annapolis. The swim move. You see so much swim techniques. Not sure if that was a save or a post, but Randolph has been getting great shots. And watch his save. The lefty goalie sliding across the cage. You see where he ends up? Outside the post. A lot of times you want to take that big step towards the ball, get your body behind it. Both goalies have been sharp.
Jared Corcoran, the sophomore goalie, mentioned that he won the job over a couple of more experienced players. And the guy that Dan Sheehan credits with getting Corcoran ready to play goalie as a sophomore is Tom Kimball, who graduated last year. Said he was really a mentor to Jared Corcoran, saw his potential. And yet Limestone finds a way to finally sneak one past him. Roger Weiss with the whip shot on the outside to tie us again, even at 6.
Roger Weiss from the Six Nations Reserve in Ontario. I tell you, lacrosse is so much a part of life for the Native Americans. And you see the flash that he has, the 360, the little whip shot where he drops his stick, the velocity. That was beautiful. Probably our most breathtaking individual effort of the day.
Second goal for Roger Weiss from the Six Nations Reserve in Ontario, Canada. Limestone has come back to even it at 6-6 after LeMoyne built a 2-goal lead in the third quarter.
Weiss is a guy who could have easily ended up at LeMoyne. Yet he's all the way down south.
Gives you the breadth of T.W. Johnson's recruiting at Limestone. They may be in South Carolina, but they are pulling from all over it.
Exposure in 5 straight championship weekends will do that.
You mentioned exposure because this is not only fans of these teams that are here watching the championship weekend, but it is lacrosse fans of all sizes and ages that come to the championship weekend to watch their heroes. And that was one of the fun things Dan Sheehan said for LeMoyne, that it's great for the players. I mean, the Division II level doesn't get a whole lot of attention. Limestone takes the lead. Third goal of the day for Jason Randolph. From down 2 goals in the third quarter, Limestone now on top.
Randolph unassisted. Serious move on the wing. He's only playing in his 7th game of the season. Kind of slipping under the radar screen in terms of the scouting report. And right now, he's gotten good shots off all day. I mean, he's gotten in excellent spots. The question is, has he been able to finish or not? That's his 9th shot of the game.
Randolph came into this game with only 9 goals on the season. He has 3 here in the title game. LeMoyne with the face-off win. Transition for the Dolphins. Spill it! Ties it again. Third goal of the day for Brandon Spillett, the junior from Liverpool. When LeMoyne needs to slow it down, they've done it. When they need to go transition, they've done it.
How about answering the Randolph goal? Before you could even talk about Randolph's credentials, it's Spillett putting it in the back of the net. Move along as a goaltender is always, okay, we got to make the next save, make the next save. Always so good to counter the other team's goal with a quick.
They do it 14 seconds after Randolph's goal, plus a penalty. 1-minute slash against Josh Waite for Limestone.
Extra man face-off right now.
You have to win the face-off, though, to get that extra man situation for LeMoyne. Nick DeLongo would love to come out of there with the ball for Limestone. In fact, it's off the wing that Limestone gets control. Checked out of there.
Furious play here.
DeLongo using those wrestling skills from DeMatha. Looks like somehow come off the mat.
That was a Granby roll. He scooped that ball up and did a little roll and a switch. Give him 1 point for an escape, 1 point for a good ground ball.
And DeLonga saves a key situation here because this allows Limestone to wind out the clock on the quarter and on the man advantage for LeMoyne. Dolphins double team the ball with Cardiff on the far side, just trying to get it to zeros on the clock without giving up possession. Split dodge from Cardiff, and Limestone takes a timeout.
Oh, I don't know about that timeout. 2 seconds to go in the quarter.
That's what Dan Sheehan's saying.
Oh, horrible, horrible. You only get 2 per quarter and a waste one here in the third quarter.
I think Dan Sheehan's saying that the clock had expired, but there are 2 seconds left on the clock. So we'll see if they stop the clock with 2 seconds. There is where the timeout comes in. 2 seconds are left in the third. Gone back to 2 seconds. 7 left in the penalty, so that's where the 7 seconds is. There's 7 left in the penalty, so you want to talk about a differential. It's about 5 seconds. That is why they take the timeout. It's essentially to make sure they keep the ball for the start of the 4th quarter.
Exactly. So he does save a possession to start the 4th quarter if Worcester can run away for 2 seconds here. There'll be no face-off when we come back to start the 4th quarter.
Travis Tarr matched up against Worcester, at least for the last 2 seconds of the 3rd quarter. Doesn't even challenge him. That is the end of the 3rd quarter. Limestone will have it on the extra man at the start of the 4th. A furious rally by Limestone. 3 straight goals to take a 1-goal advantage. But then LeMoyne answers back, and it's 7-7 as we head to the 4th on CSTV.
This exclusive presentation of the NC
Championship weekend, 19,202 through the turnstiles today at M&T Bank Stadium. That is a new championship record for Sunday. The Division II and 3 championships together. In fact, it's the 2nd straight year that they've set the attendance mark. Last season, it was just over 15,000. And with some nice weather here in 2004, we get 19,000. Tight game as we head to the 4th, and here are the tight games that these teams have played in 2004.
Look at all those Limestone games. All of them are on the road. And LeMoyne coming off back-to-back tight games. Bryant and New York Tech. Coach Sheehan talked about the New York Tech game. How New York Tech's defense was very stingy. Didn't try to slow down their offense, and they learned how to be patient that day. They had to wait for openings. Mentally, it was a very demanding game, but he felt like they got the monkey off their back, finally getting the upper hand on New York Tech.
Worcester trying to move in for Limestone. Only 1 goal so far, and starting to force it a little bit against Travis Tarr. Worcester tries rolling that one towards goal, but Corcoran there for the save. Save number 12 from Jared Corcoran. LeMoyne got the last goal from Brandon Spillett in the 3rd. Spillett now with 4 points on the day. 3 goals, 1 assist. He passes over to Rob Trowbridge, midfielder at the top of the attack zone. Nearly even in just about every regard. I mean, we said at the beginning of this game, Quint, that these two teams were so similar that there was going to be a play or two or a factor or two that decide the championship. And here we are in the 4th. Tie game, shots nearly even, defensive struggle.
All week long, both coaches kept saying this is going to be a dogfight. This is going to be a classic. We know our kids are going to play hard. We just don't know what's going to decide the game. Really mirror images of one another in terms of strong defense for LeMoyne. Great offense for Limestone.
Good decision there by Holdridge to pull it out. Holdridge tries to knock it back in play, but that's a turnover for LeMoyne. Trouble. This is Spillett. If he can pick it up, it's a goal. 2nd straight goal for Spillett, the 4th of the day, and LeMoyne is back on top, 8-7. Gray gamble coming out a goal, and the gamble does not pay off.
The ball just rolls out of the back of his stick. Hustling Spillett. Extraordinary control to be able to scoop that ball. You see, it's a scrum right there. Taya Gray might have been better off just taking Spillett down. That's a time where it's not a bad play as a goalie to just tackle Spillett, hold him, and it's a loose ball holding foul. And then LeMoyne gets the ball outside of the box. So if Gray can't scoop that up himself, he's got to know. He's got to take down Spillett, maybe even take a penalty, because if Spillett gets it, obviously, it's an easy goal.
In a tie game between even teams, if it's going to come down to a play or two, the ball rolling out of Charlie Gray's stick may be the biggest factor in this Division II championship game.
Question now for Gray is you can't let that little play get you off kilter. You got to get back on track, see the ball, make the next save. It's only one play. Don't let it snowball into the rest of the game playing poorly.
Penalty flag near the midfield area. Offsides again. One too many running across for LeMoyne. So that means Limestone will go on a 32nd man up here in the opening minutes of the fourth quarter.
Both coaches got to wonder how their insides are churning. See Spillett getting some attention.
Limestone whipping it around on the extra man. 15 seconds left. How good has Roger Weiss been inside? He seems to be the only Limestone player that has solved the mystery of Jared Corcoran in goal. Weiss with his third goal of the day, and they have all been in close.
Radiant stick skills. Look at the dazzling fakes from the box game. I tell you, when you grow up shooting on a goal that's 4 feet wide by 4 feet tall, you step outside and you look at the 36 square feet. Look at these head and shoulder fakes. Boom, the head pump, multiple fakes. Corcoran's lured out of the cage, and it's almost an empty net. Weiss is nice from the inside. We're tied up again.
Even at 8.
Ooh, illegal touching.
Right. Illegal procedure on Josh Wade. Got his hand on the ball, so LeMoyne gets it right back. When one team has made a run here in the Division II championship, the other has been with them step for step. I mean, doesn't matter whether it's Limestone going on a 3-goal run and then LeMoyne answering back. The Dolphins get that lucky break in transition with Spillett putting the game in, putting the goal in, and then Limestone answers right back with the extra man goal to make it 8-8.
LeMoyne looking to invert.
Trowbridge behind the cage. Spillett in tight again, knocked away from him. Crease violation. Join the over 150,000 members of U.S. Lacrosse and get Lacrosse Magazine in your mailbox. Visit www.uslacrosse.org today. Josh Wade pounding his way through the midfield.
Dan Holdridge had the size advantage, 6'3", 220. But just didn't time that correctly. I thought that was going to be a vicious collision, and it looked like Holdridge was going to get